Hello, and welcome to another 9-minute Bible study. Our starting point, Luke chapter 18. Let's start with verse 35. And it came to pass, as he was come nigh unto Jericho, so there for a second, from what we can tell in reading the Gospels, this is Jesus' one and only visit to Jericho. This is the only time the city is really mentioned in any of the Gospels, which means for those inside the city of Jericho in the surrounding region, this is the one and only opportunity they're going to have for Jesus to come to them. Jesus, he's on the road to Jerusalem, getting ready to head to the cross. This will be, they don't know it yet, but this will be Jesus' only trip to Jericho in his ministry. So if they're going to receive anything from Jesus directly, this is the time, this is the season. All of this to stress this. The time for your healing is now. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or the next day. The same situation that you're in now, where you can receive a healing, it might not exist again. For those in Jericho, this was their day. This was the only time Jesus would come to them. How would they respond? The last part of verse 35. A certain blind man sat by the wayside begging, and hearing the multitude pass by, he asked what it meant. Now, here he is, this blind man. He has been sitting there, as far as we can tell, his entire lifetime. And he is sick and tired of being blind. Now, sitting by the gate Jericho, you're going to hear everyone who's coming by, and they're going to tell their stories. So no doubt, this man has heard about Jesus of Nazareth. He has heard about all the healings that he has performed. He has heard about, yes, all the blind eyes he has restored. I mean, think about it. This guy is sitting at the gate, and he's hearing people say, when Jesus was in Jerusalem, he took clay and put it on a blind man's eye, and he told him to go wash in the pool, and he was healed. And this blind man would hear this, and he would think, Lord, let this be me. Let Jesus come to me and say, go wash your eyes, do anything. Let him restore my vision. Now, he hears what he has been waiting for around 3 years. Jesus is coming to Jericho. They told him point blank, Jesus was passing this way. So this man, he has the opportunity of a lifetime. Verse 38. And he cried, saying, Jesus, thou son of David, have mercy on me. He knew this was his opportunity. This was his chance. This was time for him to practice, yes, aggressive faith. Now, being not able to see, he cannot go and find Jesus directly. All he can do is call on the name of the Lord. And that's what he was doing. He was with his voice calling on Jesus. And he was not going to stop until Jesus found him. Verse 39. And they which went before rebuked him that he should hold his peace. Hold there for a second. I could imagine the scene, because we've all heard the lines before. Be quiet. Let's be honest. Shut up. You're embarrassing us. You're humiliating us in front of the master. These people were more worried about them themselves being embarrassed than they were about the blind man who wanted to be healed. If they cared about the blind man, they would have made sure he got to Jesus as quickly as possible. But the only one who was interested in the blind man being healed really was the only one who mattered, himself. He wanted to be healed. Now he has a choice. Does he listen to those who say, "You're embarrassing us"? Does he think, I am embarrassing myself, I better stay quiet? Or does he continue to act aggressively? The response, he cried so much the more. He yelled louder. When people are telling you to be quiet, when you are calling on the name of the Lord, don't worry about them. Listening to them will lead you in the same exact situation you were in at the beginning. This man, he didn't stay quiet. He yelled louder, "Jesus, thou Son of David, have mercy on me." He knew he had to get Jesus' attention. And he knew that being passive was not going to get it done. He was active. He was aggressive. I want my healing. And Jesus is going to hear me, even if he is coming from heaven. He is going to hear me right now so I can receive my healing. Verse 40. And Jesus stood and commanded him to be brought unto him. Now, can I ask a question? Would Jesus have called this guy had he not heard him? Now, what do we see? Call upon the name of the Lord, and you will what? Receive from the Lord. When we call upon the Lord, he will hear us. Because the blind man cried unto the Lord heard him very clearly. That's why Jesus said, "Bring him to me." Verse 41. "What will you that I shall do unto thee?" And this man, "Lord, that I may receive my sight." He knew if he could just get to Jesus, Jesus would restore his sight. And what did Jesus do? Verse 42. "Receive thy sight, thy faith hath saved thee." Faith. When we act aggressively, trusting Jesus, by faith, he will respond. This man, had he not believed, had he not acted on his faith, he would have been sitting there and he would have been the same for the rest of his life. But because he took his opportunity, he called upon the name of the Lord. And what happened? What did Jesus say? Thy faith hath not just healed thee, thy faith has saved thee. This was a complete healing and a complete spiritual restoration, all because he believed and he acted on his faith. And we'll pick up with this in our next lesson.